The Egyptian Gods are some of the most iconic cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Slifer the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra are revered as being the most powerful creatures in all of Duel monsters, and each monster has received various pieces of support over the years. In this series, we will be looking at each deck and how they can be played in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! While still remaining true to their iconic archetypes. Get ready for Knights, Union Monsters, and God Slimes. These are the 21st century gods. Hey guys, Sean here. To continue our saga where we profile each of the Egyptian gods, we will be profiling my favourite Egyptian god, Obelisk the Tormentor. Let's get into it. This is a pretty cool deck, and I'm excited to show it off. Let's begin with the Obelisk side of the deck. 3 copies of Obelisk the Tormentor. The big beefy boss monster of the deck, 4k attack and defense, requires 3 tributes to tribute summon it. Your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to its summon, cannot be targeted by either player with card effects. During the end phase, if it was special summoned, you'll send it to the graveyard. And its main effect is that you can tribute 2 monsters you control to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Obelisk can attack the turn you use this effect, but it's a great way to board wipe, and we do have setup in this deck to be able to do that. This effect has synergy with our cards like Breaking Ruin God. So Obelisk, the best Egyptian god card, even just as a beat stick, he's amazing. So 3 copies of Obelisk the Tormentor. Next up, we have 3 copies of the Breaking Ruin God. It's a quick play spell that allows you to special summon Obelisk the Tormentor from your hand or grave, and then during that turn it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. This card's effect cannot be negated, which is great, and whilst in the graveyard, if you use an effect that tributes 2 monsters while you control Obelisk the Tormentor, you can banish it from your graveyard to banish all monsters in your opponent's graveyard and burn your opponent for 500 for each monster banished. So not only is this a great way to burn your opponent, but it also lets you banish all monsters in their graveyard, which is great for disruption. A lot of decks' grind game comes from the graveyard, so being able to remove all the resources is fantastic, and it has great synergy with the trap card Soul Energy Max, which can set this deck up for a burn OTK win con, which is really funny. But just being able to bring out Obelisk the Tormentor from your hand or grave for free, making it unaffected by your opponent's card effects, is amazing. 3 copies is a must. Just keep in mind, if your Obelisk is special summoned, it will go to grave at the end of the turn, but because it's unaffected, you'll get the most value out of it for that turn without your opponent destroying it. So 3 copies of the Breaking Ruin God. Next up, 2 copies of Fist of Fate. Just like the Breaking Ruin God, it cannot be negated. It's a quick play spell that says while you control Obelisk the Tormentor, you can negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls. If you do, destroy it, and then for the rest of the turn, negate its activated effects and effects of cards with the same name. And then if you activate it during your main phase, you destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. So this card is amazing. It's a non-target monster negate, then it also kind of acts as called by, where it negates the effect of monsters with the same name for the rest of the turn. And it even has the added effect of destroying back row, which is fantastic. It's a quick play as well, so it's a really, really good card. So 2 copies is great. Next up, 3 copies of Spell Card Soul Exchange. This allows you to tribute your opponent's monsters to tribute summon 1 monster from your hand, which basically means if you're going second and your opponent has a full board, you can tribute 3 of their monsters to just normal summon your Obelisk straight from your hand. This is just fantastic. It turns your Obelisk into Sphere mode, which is fantastic, just removing 3 monsters from your opponent's field. Now it's not a quick play like Soul Crossing, but Soul Crossing has a really heavy restriction where you can only activate 1 card or effect for the rest of the turn, whereas Spell Card Soul Exchange doesn't have that restriction, so I think it's a really good way if you're going second to wipe your opponent's board, summon Obelisk. So I recommend 3 copies of Spell Card Soul Exchange. Next up, 3 copies of Card of the Soul. This card allows us to search Obelisk straight from the deck. You're able to add 1 monster from your deck to your hand, whose total attack and defense equals your life points. So at the start of a match, if you have 8,000 life points, you can add Obelisk the Tormentor from your deck to your hand, because Obelisk has 4,000 attack and 4,000 defense, equaling 8,000, so you can search it straight from the deck. 3 copies of Card of the Soul. Next up, 1 Mound of the Bound Creator. This is the Egyptian God field spell. Level 10 or higher monsters on the field cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Then it has the effect where if a level 10 or higher monster destroys a monster on the field, the controller of that destroyed monster takes 1k damage. And if this card on the field is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 divine monster from your deck to your hand. So if your opponent destroys this, you can add Obelisk from your deck to your hand. This card's really cool because we can actually search it off of our Ancient Fairy Dragon, and it gives our Obelisk some really good protection. So 1 copy of Mound of the Bound Creator. And for the final Obelisk cards, we have 3 copies of Soul Energy Max. The reason I max out so many of the Obelisk cards is because unfortunately we can't search them, so we really want to have them in our hand straight off. Soul Energy Max is a really cool card. If you control Obelisk the Tormentor, you can tribute 2 other monsters to destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and burn them for 4,000. This is probably the highest amount of burn damage you can do in the game off of one effect. Burning for 4,000 is amazing, meaning that your Obelisk can swing for the remaining 4k damage to finish off your opponent. Whilst in the graveyard, you can banish it to just add Obelisk from your deck to your hand, which is amazing. And then immediately after you search it, you're allowed to tribute summon it, which is just great. So the main combo you want to do with this is you want to summon your Obelisk off of your Breaking Ruin God, then use the effect of Soul Energy Max to tribute 2 monsters to burn your opponent for 4k, and then that will trigger your Breaking Ruin God, which will banish all monsters in your opponent's graveyard, and burn them for 500 for each. So if your opponent has 8 monsters in the graveyard, you'll be burning them for an additional 4k, which equals 8,000 damage in total, winning you the match. So it's a really cool combo you can pull off, and the deck is able to get enough bodies on the field that you can do this. So I think it's really cool. 3 copies of Soul Energy Max. So you may be asking, how do we actually get Obelisk on the field? What engine do we use to summon Obelisk? And that engine would be the XYZ ABC Union monsters. So let's begin with X Cross Cannon. X Cross Cannon is a 1-card combo into Obelisk. You can special summon this card from your hand if you control a Light Machine Fusion or Union monster. And during the main phase, you're able to equip any Light Machine monster from your deck to itself, but then you're locked into Light monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. This restriction doesn't really matter. Being able to equip any Light Machine from your deck to X Cross Cannon is amazing for your combos. So we always max this card out, 3 copies of X Cross Cannon. Next up, 1 copy of the original X Head Cannon. We only run this for engine requirement. The spell card Union Activation needs to dump this in order to search your X Cross Cannon. So that's the main reason we run this card. But it's cool to see this card in an Obelisk deck, as Kaiba intended, so 1 copy of X Head Cannon. Next up, 1 copy of Y-Yare Head and 1 copy of Z-Zillion Tank. These are the retrains of the original XYZ Union monsters. All of your Union monsters have the effect where you can target 1 machine monster you control and either equip them to that monster, or if they are equipped to that monster, you can special summon them. And then they all have other effects on summon. Y-Yare Head is able to unspecial summon, equip any Light Machine monster from your hand or grave to itself, and this is not once per turn. And then Z-Zillion Tank is able to unspecial summon, equip any one of your banished Light Machine monsters to itself. So these cards are very important for your XYZ Union combos, so 1 copy of each is more than enough. Next up onto the ABCs, we have 2 copies of A Assault Core. Same effect as the XYZs, where you can target a machine monster you control and either equip A Assault Core to it, or if it's already equipped to the monster, you can special summon it. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add any Union monster from your grave to your hand. This is a great way to get some of your Union monsters back from the graveyard, and really important in summoning your ABC Buster Dragon. So 2 copies of A Assault Core is all you need. Next up, 1 copy of B Buster Drake and 1 copy of C-Crush Wyvern. B Buster Drake is pivotal to your combos, it's one of the most important cards in the deck. Again, they can both be special summoned if they're equipped to a machine monster. When B Buster Drake is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add any Union monster from your deck to your hand. This is not once per turn, so our game plan is to loop B Buster Drake as much as possible, send it to grave to get searches, and then re-equip it to our Union monsters, special summon it again, send it to grave again to keep searching. And C-Crush Wyvern, when it's sent to grave, you can special summon 1 Union monster from your hand. So really good cards, B Buster Drake being essential for your combos, and of course we need 1 copy of each of our ABCs and our XYZs to summon the corresponding fusion monsters from the extra deck. So 1 copy of B Buster Drake and 1 copy of C-Crush Wyvern. Next up, for more generic Union support, we have 1 copy of Union Driver and 1 copy of Torque Tune Gear. Union Driver can be special summoned if it's equipped to a Union monster, and whilst equipped to a monster, you can banish it to equip that monster that it was equipped to with any appropriate target from the deck. That will usually be your Torque Tune Gear. Torque Tune Gear is a level 1 tuner, so it's going to be your main way of going into your Ancient Fairy Dragon in order to search your Mound of the Bound Creator. So very important cards for your combo, 1 of each is all you need. Next up, 3 copies of Union Activation. I'd say this is your best 1-card starter in the deck. It allows you to send 1 Light Machine Union or normal monster from your deck to the grave in order to add 1 Light Machine monster with the same attack but a different name from your deck to your hand. This is why we run X Head Cannon, because we can send that to be able to search our X Cross Cannon. And the main effect of Union Activation that ties the whole deck together is that if 3 or more monsters are summoned at the same time, you're able to add 1 monster from your deck with 3k or more attack, and then immediately tribute summon that monster. So if you use your Fusion ABC XYZ cards, use their effects to summon 3 monsters to the field, that will trigger Union Activation, allowing you to search Obelisk and immediately tribute summon the Obelisk. So Union Activation is 1 card combo into Obelisk, which is fantastic, so we definitely run 3 copies of Union Activation. Next up, 3 copies of Union Hangar. On activation, you can add any light machine monster from your deck to your hand, and it has another effect where if you special summon a light machine Union monster, you can equip any Union monster from your deck to it, but that monster cannot be special summoned for the rest of the turn. Adds you a Union monster and gets more Union monsters from the deck equipped to your Union monsters on the field. So an amazing card. 3 copies of Union Hangar is essential. Next up, 3 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation. Basically a quick play version of Union Hangar. You can target 1 machine monster you control and equip any machine Union monster from your deck to it, but that monster cannot be special summoned this turn. Just more ways of getting Union monsters out of the deck, so we run 3 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation. And finally, 1 copy of Frontline Base, a continuous spell that lets you once per turn special summon 1 level 4 lower Union monster from your hand. We can search it, so it's pretty good. Our hand can sometimes be clogged up with Union monsters, so it's a good way to get them on the field. So 1 copy of Frontline Base rounds out the deck. Onto the extra deck now, we have 2 copies of XYZ-Hyper Dragon Cannon. Fusion materials are X-Cross Cannon, Y-Yare Head, and Z-Zillion Tank, so the retrains of the original XYZ monsters. And you'll be summoning this by banishing the above cards from your field or graveyard to special summon this card from your extra deck. And it has the quick effect where during your opponent's turn, you can discard a card to target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. And its really important effect is that you can banish this card from the field to reveal 1 level 8 light fusion monster and special summon up to 3 of its materials from your grave or banishment. This is how you'll be triggering your Union Activation. This will allow you to summon your ABC monsters, and since 3 monsters have been summoned, it will trigger your Union Activation, allowing you to add Obelisk and normal summon it. So 2 copies of XYZ-Hyper Dragon Cannon. Next up, 2 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. The materials are A Assault Core, B Buster Drake, and C-Crush Wyvern, but again you special summon it the same way, by banishing the fusion material from your field or grave, and it has a similar effect to your XYZ Dragon Cannon, where you can quick effect discard a card to target a card in the field and banish it. And it has a quick effect during your opponent's turn where you can banish it to special summon 3 of your light machine monsters that are banished. Again, another way to trigger your Union Activation to summon your Obelisk. But these cards on their own are just fantastic interruptions as well, really good boss monsters, and in your combos you're going to be ending on these monsters as well as your Obelisk, which is really cool. So 2 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. Next up, 2 copies of your Union Controller. This needs 1 light machine monster and either your Y-Yare Head or your Z-Zillion Tank. And to summon this you need to banish the above cards you control, and then on summon you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions a Union monster from your deck to your hand, which pretty much searches all of your spells and traps in the deck. And finally it has the effect that allows you to special summon a Union monster from your hand. So fantastic card. It's also level 6, which is important for your Ancient Fairy Dragon plays because you'll be using this and your Torque Tune gear to go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, so it's very important for that as well. But of course being able to search through any Union card is amazing. So 2 copies of Union Controller. Next up, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. It has 2 effects. It allows you to special summon a level 4 monster from your hand, which can be a pretty cool way to get your Union monsters out of your hand. But its main effect allows you to destroy 1 card in your spell and trap card zone, gain 1000 life points, and then activate any other field spell from your deck. So in your combos this will be turning your Union Hangar into your Mound the Bound Creator, and it's a light so we're never going to be locked out of it. So 1 copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon is really good. Next up for 2 XZs we have 1 copy of Starring Knight and 1 copy of Starliege Paladynamo. Starring Knight allows you to special summon a light monster from your hand, so just another way to get your Union monsters out of your hand and onto the field. And your Starliege Paladynamo is a good way to go for OTKs. It allows you to detach 2 material to target 1 monster your opponent controls, turn that monster's attack to 0 and negate its effects. So really good, helps you beat into your opponent's monsters with your Obelisk to do a bunch of damage. So I think these 2 are really good generic rank 4s that we can run in the deck. Next up onto the Link monsters, 1 copy of Platinum Gadget. Essential for your combos, needs 2 machine monsters to summon it. During your main phase it allows you to special summon any level 4 lower machine monster from your hand to a zone it points to. So you'll usually be linking into this using your B Buster Drake. When that gets sent to the grave you'll be searching a Union monster, and then this will allow you to special summon that Union monster from your hand. So Platinum Gadget is essential for your combos, definitely run it at least 1 copy. Next up, 2 copies of Lyna the Light Charmer. The main reason we run 2 of this is because we do get locked into light monsters very early, and we do need to remove our Union monsters from the field. So this just being a generic Link monster we can go into is very important, so I run 2 copies of Lyna. Next up, 1 copy of Trackback, another generic light Link 2, which has the effect where you can target a card it points to, and whenever that card will destroy a card by battle, you draw a card. Unfortunately, Obelisk cannot be targeted, but this can be a good way to target something like your ABC Buster Dragon, and if that card destroys monsters, you'll be able to draw cards. So it can be cool for that, but the main use of it is just another generic link to a light monster, so I think one copy of Trackback is pretty cool. And finally, for the last two monsters, one copy of Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avramax, and one copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Avramax, whilst in the field, your opponent cannot target it with card effects, and they also cannot target any other of your monsters with attacks except for it. And then during the battle phase, if your opponent attacks into it, it will gain the attack of the monster that attacks into it. So essentially it protects all of your monsters from battle, and cannot be targeted itself, so it's a very strong card, and if your opponent gets around it and sends it to grave, you're able to shuffle one card your opponent controls into the deck. So it's a fantastic boss monster, can be kind of difficult to go into, but it's great when you get it out. And Underworld Goddess is a fantastic pseudo kaiju. To link summon it, you can use one of your opponent's monsters, which is great. Great way to out something like a Towers. And on summon it negates all monsters your opponent controls. So just an amazing card. This deck can spam bodies in the field, so you can go into this fairly reliably. And it also acts as a graveyard negate, which is really cool. So these are the final two monsters I run in the deck. So that's it for my Obelisk the Tormentor deck profile. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think this deck is really cool. It's so Kaiba pilled, it's amazing. You're literally just set out Kaiba if you play this deck. Using the XYZ monsters and the ABC monsters to summon out the Egyptian god Obelisk is amazing. So definitely let me know what you think in the comments. We've previously done a profile on Slifer the Sky Dragon, and we'll soon be doing a profile on the Winged Dragon of Ra, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for those videos. If you want to buy this deck in real life, we do have a TCG player affiliate link in the description, which you can use. If you buy cards with that link, it directly supports the channel and helps us keep up the content. And if you also want to support the channel, make sure you consider becoming a member. Members get access to our videos as soon as we make them. Shoutouts to all of our members, John Cran, Emeric Humbert, Johnny, and RPSNOB. Thank you all so much for the support, we really appreciate it. And again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content.